Captain News Announcer fills us in on what happened in the last episode. How Anakin's Star Destroyer overwhelmed Bane's fleet and boarded, but because of Anakin's ego and Ahsoka's overconfidence, Bane was able to compel Anakin to open the stolen Jedi Holocron, which contained the location of all the Force-sensitive children who would one day become Jedi. Not the kind of thing you should give to evil villains. But Bane was killed by one of the troopers and the ship was blown up. So they may not have the Holocron, but they at least know it's not in the hands of the bad guy. Anakin had commented that he still felt Bane was alive, and as this part kicks off, we see why. There's alien blood in the ship that brought them back, and it's not Ahsoka's, so Bane pulled the old switcheroo. He's a trooper in disguise. Now, in their defense, his hat is so distinctive that all he has to do is take it off and he'll be completely unrecognizable. He swipes his ship, but it's a short-range vessel, so he can't go anywhere without a hyperspace ring. Ha!
Lock down the hyperspace rings! Hurry!
What could possibly have happened since I last spoke with you?
What part of hurry did you not get, Admiral Monocle Popper? Well, thanks to him dragging his feet, Bane gets away, although if Anakin and Ahsoka hadn't screwed up last time, this wouldn't be that big of a deal. It was stupid, but there is a lot of blame to go around here, make no mistake. Meanwhile, Bane gets in touch with Sidious to ask if there's anything else he needs him to do. And there is. He needs to kidnap 4 of the children on the list to serve as test subjects on Mustafar. That's the planet full of lava from Revenge of the Sith, where Anakin would one day burn to a crisp. So whatever the test is, it probably isn't to see which diaper is the most absorbent. Probably not even which color of lead paint is the tastiest.
Sure. As long as I get paid, it makes no difference to me.
It's interesting. I mean, Bane's probably stinking rich by now between the Hutts and Sidious's other jobs. Yet not only does he continues with a target that's not even good for sport. This is still all just about the money. Probably going to just go swimming in it like Scrooge McDuck or something. Well, with the list lost, the Jedi have no choice but to try to figure out which of the kids are going to be targeted. So they get around and have a group seance so the Ouija board can point them in the right direction. Probably how the list was first created, sensing those who would have an impact on the Force. Then again, I suppose that doesn't explain how Anakin slipped through the cracks with his whole "I'm the chosen one" thing. Anyway, one seems to have been already lost, but the other 3 are still at home, so Obi-Wan heads for the first planet, Rhodia, where Bane's already there. We know he's a bad guy, though, because he's wearing a hoodie. That's how it works, right? Obi-Wan arrives just as Bane is made off with the target, which means that once again he fails to catch an escaping bounty hunter and a kid. That's not a typical streak for anybody to have, never mind a Jedi. Meanwhile, Anakin has gone to Naboo to try to avert the capture of the Gungan child here.
Let me take the lead, Master. I've got a score to settle.
Time for the speech. Yep. There is no emotion. There is peace. There is no passion. There is serenity.
All right, go with the Gungan.
There is no Jedi code. There are only paybacks, which are a bitch. Sure enough, Bane gets in there, but Ahsoka is ready for the payback. Bane handles her all right, but isn't ready for Anakin to leap in. And with his hat knocked off, well, Bane obviously doesn't have a chance now. So they lock him up, and that's settled. Finally! Except for the missing kids, yeah. There's no evidence on the ship of where they are or the Holocron, and Bane's not talking.
We'll have to use the Force to make him talk.
Want to try that again, only without the evil this time? Then we shall pry the answers from his mind! Because we're the good guys, after all. Ahsoka suggests that they all use the Force together to make the Jedi mind trick work on him, which still sounds kind of iffy, especially when Obi-Wan and Mace Windu point out this could destroy his mind. Shit happens. Let's pry that skull open and see what shakes loose.
And you will take us now!
Well, it shook my bowels loose anyway. All right, I know it looks bad.
Get out of my head!
Perhaps we should try again.
And that's probably because it is. Of course, he is in the habit of kidnapping helpless young children for experimentation. I mean, not to say that I approve of turning his skull inside out, but when you do that to a group of people who claim they're pacifists and yet carry around swords that burn through anything, well, I guess that's kind of like sticking your head inside a shark's mouth and blowing raspberries on its tongue. You are just kind of asking for it after a while. So he takes Mace and Obi-Wan off to where he claims they are. I say claims because this is almost certainly a trap and everybody knows it. Meanwhile, Anakin talks to Palpatine about what's going down. He suspects a dark presence is involved, plotting some terrible evil.
Tickle, tickle, tickle. Who's the greenest little cutie pie?
Actually, he's plotting to turn the kids into Force-sensitive spies a la Mara Jade, and all it takes is a comfortingly named slave conditioning process. Mace and Obi-Wan are elsewhere. While the Holocron is here, so are a bunch of laser turrets, death traps, and the like, and they have to sort that out while Bane gets away. Again. Oh, and there's also the self-destruct. Guess that's why Bane needs so many credits. It's expensive building remote death trap-filled bases rigged to blow themselves up. Well, thanks to hacking into the fuel logs, they find out that Bane's ship stopped at Mustafar and decide to check that out. So when they arrive, Sidious orders the droids there to turn off the anti-gravity so the whole thing will sink into the lava. Seeing the pattern, being a villain isn't cheap, you know, not by a long shot. Unless you're the Joker, you're going to need wads of cash to spread evil around and all that. So Anakin and Ahsoka are soon battling on a collapsing platform against nanny droids holding the little kids like shields. Mary Poppins has a song about that one, I think. Luckily, they save the kids from falling into the lava and make a narrow escape from the collapsing platform. Huzzah! Except the Jedi have no idea who put Bane up to all this. The evidence was swallowed up by the lava. I'd look for the really evil-looking guy at the bank, desperately trying to take out a loan for an underwater base that's filled with scorpions. Children of the Force is a fine conclusion to this trilogy, showing us that Bane is ruthless and cunning, and yet still fallible, and Darth Sidious's plot now becomes clear and ties in with what we know will be his future plans. Anakin continues to show the characteristics that will eventually lead him to become Darth Vader. Oh, sorry, spoiler there. We see his own ruthlessness, pridefulness, even his subservience to the Chancellor to report on internal Jedi affairs on the reasoning that they are agents of military and thus internal matters are now matters for the state, which shows his belief in the centralized authority of Palpatine. So the trilogy has done an important job for this series, showing the continued descent of Anakin despite his good intentions, the machinations of Sidious, and brought back a popular new villain to great effect. While it started weak with the heist, it grew much stronger in the final two parts, and starts the second season off with far more mature storytelling than the first season had started with.
Kidnapping innocent children. Seems like a small-time crime for the likes of you.
Among the children of the Jedi, there are no innocents.
Sure.